Welcome back to Drury University. We are going to be live streaming the All-American games. We're going to start with the girls' game, and we've got Team East versus Team West, but really the way it breaks down, it's Team Texas versus everybody else, and that's going to be you guys here in a little bit also. And I am joined by Robert Dawkins and Andrew Thomas, the four-peat national champions from MHEA. And Robert, I wasn't sure when you came along, so we're counting you as part of this four-peat, right?
Yes, sir.
I think you're included in that.
I've been around. This is my second year here.
Okay.
I came from a school, and I was like, we got out of there, and I was like, I'm going to join them, play basketball with them. And I've loved every minute of it. It's been great.
Not a bad time to join. I'll throw that out there. Yeah. But, yeah, so I wanted to have you guys on, and first of all, just celebrate the amazing accomplishment that y'all have. We talked about it during the broadcast. I know y'all haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but only the third ever time that a four-peat has happened in homeschool basketball.
Wow.
The first was like Naismith era years. It was the early 90s. There was a Kansas team that won 5. So really in the modern era, second ever team to win a four-peat, which is pretty crazy when you think about it, because we were talking about the level of basketball and how it's grown at the homeschool level.
For sure.
The level of talent that was here. So I would just love to hear from you guys, kind of where your thought process is right now. I know you're right after having done it, but as you sit here and think about, you did it, you accomplished it, what are y'all thinking right now?
Man, it's a great feeling. First of all, I would just like to thank my fans, the MHGA family. I've grown up playing MHGA, and so I essentially know everybody in the organization. And it's just been so much fun. They've supported me ever since I was on 10 and under, all the way through varsity. So just to have that kind of support has definitely helped a lot in the way that I want to train to be better and want to keep playing even. So it's been great.
I think joining in these past 2 years is something like I've never experienced. A fan base like this, or just like a team, the way all the guys like interact and fight and play the game is awesome. And I mean, it's the best team I've ever played with. I love the guys.
Well, I think talent-wise, it's an unbelievable team, and you guys are seniors, and you maybe not have had quite all the time to process the fact that it's done, but you accomplished what you came to do.
Yes, sir.
And so, hopefully you can enjoy everything that you've done. I was kind of asking y'all off mic, and you can share what you're willing to share, but after tonight, all the festivities, dunk contest, All-American game, what does the rest of tonight look like for y'all?
There's a long-standing tradition in the MHA organization. There's a restaurant here in Springfield that we don't have in Memphis. And I'm not going to say the name.
Yeah, we don't want to dox you. We don't want everybody to go there.
But it's not. We don't have it in Memphis.
Okay.
And so everybody in the family just kind of gathers there, and they hold it open later for us. They've always been great about hosting us. Yeah.
Like specifically for y'all?
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just going to start driving around Springfield and see where all the cars are.
I feel like you'd be able to find us pretty easily.
It's like, that whole stands over there across from us were filled with MHGA people. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, tonight's definitely going to be a little bit different, though. I don't know if we're doing much because it's going to be so late, but we'll probably be partying a little bit back at the hotel.
Yeah. That's fair, yeah. You can sleep when you get back.
Exactly.
You got a long car ride back.
Yeah.
So, Robert, you're also on top of the All-American game, going to be participating in the dunk contest tonight. Offhand, obviously took a little hit this week.
Yes, sir.
But, got any previews for us for what we could expect?
I mean, I'm going to get there and do my best. The hand definitely prohibits a little bit of it. I'm hoping to give them a show, though, get the people what they want, and just have fun out there and do the best I can.
So as you guys are looking back on what you've been able to accomplish, what do you think is going to be your favorite thing that you remember about this whole process of nationals and winning championships? And there's the basketball side of it, but in general, what are the kind of things that you think you're gonna look back the most fondly on?
I think for me, just the relationships that I've built here. I already touched on kind of the family aspect of my organization, but even I've made a ton of friends from different organizations, players, fans, parents. And I just love that about NCHBC, that I can come here and it's not just every team for themselves, but you can feel support from other teams. And I've really enjoyed that just growing up. And I also, with the luxury of homeschool basketball, playing each other every year, you get to know the guys that you play because you grow up with them, basically, playing against them. So that's been a really cool thing for me to experience.
Yeah, well, I know you guys have a All-American game and a dunk contest to prepare for. I don't want to hold y'all too long, but I just want to say thank y'all for coming over here and joining us on the broadcast. We definitely, appreciate the contributions y'all have made to this sport and elevating it to that next level. I mean, I've heard from so many different players and coaches, and you guys are kind of that gold standard. I mean, not just obviously on the court, that's definitely the case, but the way you guys conduct yourself, I think is a really cool standard that a lot of programs can aspire to. You guys have been very classy in all of your games. Even the ones that have been blowouts or ones that have been close, no matter what the competitive level was. It's just been an honor and a joy to watch you guys compete. And NCHBC is really going to miss you guys. I know y'all, MHA family, y'all be around, you'll be involved somehow. But just want to say congratulations to you guys, and we'll let you go get ready for your evening festivities.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Appreciate
you guys.
Catch you later.
So that was Andrew Thomas and Robert Dawkins of MHEA, the 4-peat champions. We wanted to get them on and just have a conversation about basketball, and it's pretty fresh for them, but they had some great insight on what this means for them and just the family aspect of it. So we did also want to highlight the young ladies that are on the court. They have put their heart and soul into this whole season, and now we get to showcase them in a fun way. So I'm joined by Jeremy Caldwell and Amy Curtis. And, we're not going to broadcast the same way we would a game, but we definitely want to highlight the best of what homeschool athletics has to offer. And so we set up this All-American game as an East versus West kind of matchup. Ends up being Team Texas versus everybody else.
Right.
I think Team Texas has 2 players that aren't from Texas. I think there's a Minnesota teammate, Brianna Vogel, and Maya Harris from Wichita that ended up on the Texas team. But just an amazing week of basketball we just had. And it's fun now to sit back and just enjoy. And Amy, your daughter's on the court as well right now.
I know this has been just a fun week all around. But seeing her rewarded for all of her hard work for many, many years is exciting. And alongside a lot of really great basketball players, there's some really, really talented players from all classes on it. We got some young players. The future is bright.
Yeah, it sure is bright, and this whole week, we got to see a lot of these girls put their talents on show for everybody to see. And for some, it's their last
Curtis
game.
for 3.
And for some, it's their last game to play at, Christian Homeschool National Tournament on the big stage here. And what a great blessing it is. Some of them have served so much for this organization. And, for the youth coming up, they've been some really good role models for them to look up to. So it's good to see.
I would say one thing that's been really cool as well is you'll have moments like just now on the East team. You have HEA and the Hornets who just played each other in the national championship. They're sitting side by side, chanting defense together.
Yes.
And it's just such an incredible thing that, it's just one of my favorite moments every year at Nationals is this kind of stuff.
I don't know. If you didn't watch that game, I don't know what you were doing, but you need to go watch it as soon as this is over. It was unbelievable.
Shameless plug. That was an incredible game.
Yeah.
Rodimer was hitting threes that, you reserve that for Steph Curry level.
Yeah, you can tell a lot of these girls have been watching Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark has changed the game of girls basketball for sure. Mm-hmm. And, for the better. And it's put women's basketball on the map, and it's good for the sport in general.
Absolutely. And talking about putting women's basketball on the map, the crowd for the girls varsity final here was incredible. And that's one of the things I love about homeschool basketball. My daughter was on a 10U Team USA here and played this morning against the Dallas Thunder, and they had their drummers there at the 10U game. Where else can you do that? It's such an incredible environment. And then you play against these people for years, and now they've become your friends, as they should be off the court, because you have common goals and common values. It's just really fun.
So I did want to go ahead. We didn't get a chance because we started with the MHEA guys on the call. I did want to go ahead and read out the rosters for this All-American game. You can find them on Twitter as well, on the Homeschool Athletics main Twitter. But for the Team East, we have Dovie Cochran, Emma Lincoln, Grace Abram, Haley Nichols, Hannah Sedlacek, Jenna Hay, Justice Walters, Katie Martis, Keelan Meebert, Lily Williams, Macy Klein, Natalie Floyd, Sammy Schaefer, and Taylor Laskowski. And then for the Team West, or Team Texas, if you will, Audrey Barth, Avery Meir, Chloe Eversole, Chloe Kern, Kayla Johns-McGarity, Kendall Beck, Madison Herda, Aggie Turner, Michaela Curtis, Phoebe Stein, Savannah Fuller, Sayla Malik, Brianna Vogel, and Maya Harris. And Jeremy, those were names we were calling all week long.
All week long. And all those girls battled against each other in competitive fashion, and they all come together for one common goal, and that's to represent the West or the East, whichever team you're on. And it's good to see them all cheering each other on, outside of the competitive game when they play each other. And, that's what it's all about. Some of these teams played each other today, and some won and some lost.
Absolutely.
But if you watch the game right now as they play in this All-American game, you can't tell which teams lost today and which teams won because they all look like winners.
And the two teams that just played the finals against each other are all doing a fun little drill up the court.
Yeah, there hadn't been a lot of missed shots here either. It just speaks to the talent on the court. And also, I think it's worth mentioning that two players in the previous game, incredible players, aren't on this All-American list, and that just speaks to how hard it is to get in this game.
Yep.
Right.
And there's that San Marcos connection as Maddie Herda gets it to Johns-McGarity. The way that we've done this, I think it's just, a 20-minute running clock? Is that how it started?
I think 16. Yeah.
16-minute.
Yeah.
But, made a concerted effort this year
And then,
to have fun but not have, people outside of the game involved. So
Right.
in
And
previous years, you've had people from the stands or the ref. We just wanted to have good, clean fun with the ladies that earned this spot.
Right, and let them, take the highlight that they've earned. And another thing to recognize is the coaches that have led all these girls all year, and they've battled against each other. Now they're sitting on the sidelines coaching together, a group of girls that, they only know a small percentage of from practices and stuff, but they've all played against each other. So I love the camaraderie and the togetherness that it brings here.
I love the East-West idea
I love
because
it.
this is the most competitive all-star game I've seen because
This
you
is
have a
more
little
competitive than
synergy.
NBA.
Yeah, the Texas girls, they were talking about they want this to be a victory for their region. So
Right.
we're really proud here from the Big South, right? So we
Right. They named it the Big South for a reason, and they do definitely like to be big.
And South.
And in the South, because in the South we do it big.
Maddie Herda. Ooh.
very close there. That's about where they were shooting in the last game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was national championship level.
Yeah, West
threes
Michigan.
right there.
Yeah.
I thought they was playing in the All-American game already.
Yeah,
They started early.
Rodimer, this is unbelievable.
Man, she pulled up some threes that I don't know if Caitlin Clark would pull up.
And just money every time. It was ridiculous. I think I yelled pretty loud on the broadcast. When I watch that back, I'll probably be embarrassed. But the crowd behind
We
me
have to put on the subtitles to check your earphones.
Yeah, turn down the volume when you get to the last 2 minutes.
Man, you got to love that connection. Herda to Johns-McGarity. Only 4 more minutes for that same call to happen here at the NCHBC.
Right, that could be their last time on the floor together. And they've had a fantastic career at San Marcos. And, two girls also that I'd like to highlight for this week. Although they're not in this game, they played a big part of this Nationals, and that's Lila Valentine, the 8th grader from West Michigan, and Lexi Fuller, the 8th grader from Tyler Heat.
Okay.
Both of those are starting point guards on a varsity level and made a big impact on their games, and it's a sight to see that women's high school basketball for homeschool sports has a bright, bright future.
Oh, it has never had a brighter future.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had superstars come through, but you look across the top teams.
Lily from the 28-foot line there.
You look across the top teams that have a lot of players coming back, and it is in a very healthy state. We're counting that. That's a dunk.
Lily hit the long three and then the dunk. What else can you ask for?
Right? I mean, in a real game, that counts for 2, so it still counts.
Oh, wow.
But, I mean, the distance that these girls are pulling and shooting them in rhythm.
Yes. And you talked about those young players that are so exciting. I've been featuring different kids on calls after I've done games that have really impressed me. I think it was Corbin Tyler from the Rattlers, just lots of people. And every time I've been saying the future is bright for homeschool basketball. There are also some players who are about to move on and play at the college level, including my daughter, Michaela Curtis, Kendall Beck, Maddie Herta, some others here I'm probably leaving off. But, there's been a lot of social media content. Kendall, Maddie, Michaela, Ben Groth, and Joey Heaston have been working on putting out some content, and their tagline as they put those videos out is homeschool athletes are college athletes at all levels, D1, D3, NAIA, and we want to bring some awareness to that. We put out a list right before nationals of how many people have played at the next level, and it would blow your mind at all levels. I had somebody ask me, my son's not sure homeschool basketball is competitive enough. I said, is your son better than Blake Griffin? Because it worked for him,
It
Justin Jackson, Mariah Jefferson.
Yeah, is your daughter better than Mariah Jefferson or Lily Williams?
Yeah, exactly.
If so, bring them.
Yeah.
Justin Morgan, MHGA. I mean, there's a long list. And I believe the consensus is most people don't even still to this day, which I don't understand how with social media, doesn't understand the complexity and the talent level in homeschool basketball, boys and girls.
I coached a Team USA here with 12 girls on it, and all of them could play. After we had the recruiting workshop earlier in the week, I talked to a few coaches. I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm like the Golden State Warriors over here. And I asked multiple people on my team. I had a talented freshman from Louisiana. I said, do you love basketball? Do you want to play? She said, if you think I can. I'm like, you're almost 6 foot tall. You're making moves in the post. You run the floor. Absolutely, you can play. So there's tons of talent here.
So you were the right coach for her to have this week.
Yeah. I feel like God orchestrated that for us because we had such a fun week. My team wasn't able to come, but Michaela and I just had a blast.
Yeah, and we're glad y'all actually had an opportunity to come because I believe this is your first time coming, correct, with a team to play?
No. I've come with my team before, but this is my first time doing Team USA.
Okay.
So, as a matter of fact, one year we were in contention. My first year, I didn't bring my whole team. I was missing my starting center and one guard, but we played one game away from a gold ball in our division. So, yeah, we've been a couple times, but this year we couldn't bring our whole team. Our boys brought more than one team for the first time from Salt and Light. And I believe our JV boys today won the Silver Ball Showdown.
Okay.
In Division 2, I think.
That's exciting. Your first time here as a team, and you get to go home with some hardware.
Yeah. First ever JV team from Salt and Light.
Well, Amy, you did an amazing job on the calls for the girls and all week long over at Ozark. So we want to thank you for all the stuff you've done, and you were in the closing seconds of the girls All-American game. Want to give a huge thanks to all these young ladies that have given us a fantastic week of entertainment, and that's going to do it for the girls All-American game. Team West wins 43-37. So shout out to Team West.
Shout out to the Big South.
You get one more W in your belt before you go home.
And
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. This I volunteered, then was a little nervous, but this has been a blast. And thank you to the many people who texted me, messaged me, put a post on social media that they enjoyed this. This was a blast. What better way to watch this than sit in front row? And
I have one more question for you. After doing the broadcast all week, do you have a different perspective of coaching?
I do. I will say it's a lot more relaxing to.
It is and when you can critique other coaches and their decision making.
It is, and being as you have being on the other side, it's really easy here to sit and say, why don't you do this? Why don't you do this? We don't know what they're saying in the huddle if the girls did what they said, but I've watched some great coaching here.
Yes.
Homeschool athletes are college athletes. Homeschool coaches are real coaches. And
it's not just a dad stepping up so their girls and daughters can play.
Exactly.
And, I talked to Jeff Cannon from Dash.
Oh, I did several games with him.
And he mentioned to me that he had a great time doing this. And he said that he actually wishes now that he would have done this prior to coaching because now he takes a different approach to coaching now that he can see the other side as critiquing. Yeah. And, you can learn from different avenues, as you have. by the coaches making decisions, you're like, okay, in that situation, I probably would have done this.
Yeah.
But, trying to think how they think and how you think in those situations.
Right.
And, I, as a former coach myself, I look at it as a different perspective as well. So I enjoy the opportunity, and I thank Rob Flatt for allowing me to come do this every year.
Yeah, I mean, y'all had no idea if I could do this at all. Neither did I, but this was just a lot of fun.
To be fair, though, we both talked to you at the districts and the regionals. I felt pretty good. I felt pretty good about it.
We'll retract one statement. The Big South has not won. We're going to play 2 halves.
We're just.
So the Big South won the first half.
Yeah.
Okay. There I was trying to get a little home cooking.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We're all from the Big South.
Yeah.
I feel like the East may feel underrepresented.
I mean, to be fair, Nick Fairley, Scott Staten, Cody Hirons, Tice East, they're all from the Midwest.
They've been here all day.
We've had broadcast representation.
I only got 2 critical statements about my broadcast. One from my 11-year-old. She didn't know if my voice sounded right.
Understood.
And my mom said I said "we" a few times when talking about the San Marcos Panthers last night because I was rooting for them to make that comeback. Not because I wanted one team to win or lose, but we kind of focused on that was the team I knew a lot about, and Scott knew a lot about the other. But yeah.
Well, I would match you up against Doris Burke any day in terms of basketball knowledge and what you contributed to the NCHBC this year.
Yeah, maybe a career change down the road. We'll see.
It definitely it is a nice change.
Yeah,
I can tell you.
This has definitely been my most fun and relaxing nationals.
Right.
And Michaela mentioned that as well, how fun and relaxing it was to just play with some other good players, not worry if you stayed up late because you can still,
right.
if you don't make a shot, doesn't really matter. You're on Team USA.
Right.
I would like to shout out to my Team USA team. We were undefeated, won all of our games by a 20-point margin. We can't win a gold ball here, but we did get some Party City little gold cups and some medals, and we took a nice photo. In our heart, we know we were undefeated. Right.
And I want to take a second to give a shout out to Scott Staten. He just told us he's heading back. Probably heading back to Indianapolis tomorrow, but man, he's just such an incredible guy, such an incredible broadcaster. He, is very involved with his church. A brand new grandfather.
Yep.
Just love everything about Scott and what he represents. Just such a great voice for homeschool and a champion of our sport. So, I want to wish Scott a safe journey back, and all the broadcasters that have been involved this week. We mentioned a lot of them, but also shout out to Josh Jenkins, who took a lot of those 8 a.m.s.
Yep.
Coach Jeff Cannon from the Dash Spartans. Don't want to miss anybody. CJ Pomeroy, he jumped on some of our calls. So just an amazing effort. And, I wish people could appreciate the behind the scenes that happens for something as massive as this. And that ref needs to.
He didn't get the memo.
I don't know if I'd pass him the ball again. His percentage was a lot lower than the girls.
I'd rather see a Kendall Beck Euro step, to be honest.
Yeah, that was nice. That was nice. Yeah, I jumped right into the fire. I had a midnight game one night here over at Ozark. That was an incredible night where I had a double overtime with I think it was the Missouri Rush.
Yes. And
then followed by that incredible comeback by the Northside Lions and Joey Heaston in the final game that finished at 12:15 a.m.
Right.
Jeff Cannon and I had to go through. Nick Fairley, we had a little adversity because I think the AC turned off around 10:30. They finally got it. We were shedding layers and having to clean the floor because it was sweaty. And then I think they must have figured out how to get it back on. But yeah.
Welcome to broadcast.
Yeah. But shout out to Nick Fairley. I told him he's like Rain Man, keeping these stats.
Yes.
We don't have computers that tell us people's names or what the stats are. We're trying to keep notes on our own, and he was great to work with because he's really good at being able to multitask and do all that at the same time.
Right. Yeah, he's an incredible basketball mind. He's also a college coach. He's coaching over at Rockford in Illinois. And if you ever get a chance to catch Nick, either on and off the broadcast, he's walking around the gyms here at Nationals. Just another, amazing addition to the team that we've been able to assemble here at Nationals.
He wasn't on the call, but he had more fun than anybody at the girls' final.
Oh, he almost lost it whenever Rodimer was hitting those threes.
Yeah, he was jumping. Like, you can tell he loves basketball. After the midnight game, he was up at 8 a.m. doing another game.
Yep.
And then that night at about 9 or 10, he volunteered to stay for an extra one. He was like, I might as well do it with y'all since I'm here. So you love to be around people who love the game.
Yeah, I think almost everybody in this gym was up screaming in that when Rodemar started going off on those threes.
Yes, and that's another one. She didn't make this game, and that has nothing to do with how talented she is, and everything to do with how talented overall. It's a hard thing to be voted to this team.
Yeah, it's a great accomplishment because you're voted on by your peers and other coaches, and when other coaches recognize your game, and we can only put so many on this court and on the list, but so many more deserve it. And man, there's some great basketball athletes out here.
And for those who didn't make it, I just want to say that does not speak to your talent.
Right.
No college coach is going to look at your game film
and ask if you made an All-American
and say,
game.
Man, you didn't make that All-American game
Right.
when you were a junior or senior in high school. They want to know your GPA. That's a lot more important. Think more about your GPA.
Right.
Your test scores. If you go to an NAIA school, you're a homeschool, you're required to have an ACT or SAT score. Those things are way, way more important than who made the All-Star game. So celebrate those that did. Use it as some motivation in the off season, which starts tomorrow. But other than that, it's not something you should be too upset about.
Right. We got a little defense being played.
Yeah, this has more of a basketball feel. There have been some long shots, but you get a sense that each team wants to be on top at the end of the show.
Right.
Got some more subs coming back in.
Yeah, we still got 10.5 minutes to go here.
Kayla McGarity, Chloe Eversole, Michaela Curtis.
Yeah, a lot of I think they just put 5 seniors on the floor, or 4 seniors, and Phoebe Stein. She's probably still 11.
Yeah.
She's been playing varsity ball.
Maybe not 11. I don't know this player who just shot there, so she's the only one I don't know by name. The other ones are all.
That's Aggie Turner.
Okay. Oh, nice move by McGarity there. I have enjoyed. We've had many battles against Kayla McGarity. Michaela and I at various levels. Jody McGarity, who's a great coach, just a great guy. He gave me some advice early on about whether to play in the summer and some other things. So I always appreciate that homeschool parents are willing to help each other and coaches are willing to help each other. We got a screen being set here.
Whatever it takes.
It's like you're surprised by the fundamental basketball plays.
It's definitely an upgrade from last year's All-American game.
Yes. I gave a little bit of feedback on that. I like it as more of a basketball feel. One thing I want to mention here, and I actually spoke to some referees this morning. My younger daughter played on a 10U Team USA here, and I've been extremely impressed with those referees at the 10U games. It's really hard to do that job.
Yes.
Because you could call a million fouls, but they called a few fouls quick in every game. Educated the girls on what they were going to call, and then it turned into a real basketball game, which was fun. So I appreciated that. It was really fun watching 10U here.
Yeah, it's always good when you have a referee that in those younger age groups when they do call the foul, and then they quickly go to the player and tell the player what they did wrong and why they called the foul and what they needed to do to correct it.
Yeah.
And, in those 10U, neither coach is going to get mad at a referee for that because it's a learning, basically 10U, 12U is kind of a learning age group anyway. And if you have referees helping you learn the game of basketball the correct way, it helps your player and your team as well.
You like it when they take the job seriously they signed up for. And that was Michaela Curtis there for 3 while we were talking. Just want to make sure I get that out there on the call.
That's really, really special for you.
Yeah, this is super, super fun. And we, I interviewed her at halftime of the girls' championship. We talked about some of the things she's been doing for helping some of the younger kids and parents, during the recruiting workshops to talk about her process, doing some content on social media. So this has just been a fun week. Great memories created as a family as we celebrate her last year at Nationals. Can't believe we're here already. I can't believe I have a kid about to go to college.
Well, enjoy the last couple of minutes of her on a high school court. Again, very, very special feeling, I'm sure, but bittersweet.
Yeah.
And
I'm not as sad as I expected. You know,
Yeah.
I think there is something to be said about working really hard, and we worked hard together towards a goal, whether that was, you know, developing as a basketball player or finding the right fit in college or her academics. So it's more of a feeling of, you know, accomplishment, God's blessings, a little bit of a flop to exaggerate.
Emma
that
Lincoln is
crossover.
like, wait a minute, I sold on that and you still didn't
Yeah,
make it.
You got to make it if you make them fall down. But yeah, less sadness, more excitement for the future, and looking forward to doing what we can to continue to grow homeschool basketball and make it better for the next generation.
Yeah, because there's plenty of them coming up, and.
Oh yeah, I should shout out my class of 2030 something, Addison Curtis. She's already a baller, but she's gonna be one to watch in the future. So it's been really fun watching her first year of basketball.
Well, and you look around the gym, and some people in this gym, you know, young ladies, young men that are here watching the Undisputeds and the All-American game. This is going to be them in a couple of years.
Yep.
And so it's really cool just to get that experience on the national stage and have that desire of, like, I want to do that too.
Yeah. Maddie Herta for three. Man, she hit some yesterday to kind of make a comeback attempt again at the end of that game against the Hornets, and it was fun to watch. She had one right here over by the scorer's table where she missed a three, jumped in the air, saved it back, ran back in, got it, got fouled on the three. I mean, that was a special moment, and she's had many of those. I've seen her not just in homeschool basketball. I watched her this summer at the biggest NCAA live period tournament for girls, and she was amazing. little bit of alley-oop there. Herta to Beck. And boy, have they been fun to watch throughout their career. Well, a few years ago, my team upset them at district, and it was a big upset. Like they were very, very strong. Then we faced them at regionals, and they took it personal, and they kind of ran us off the court at regionals. So.
Yeah, they definitely remember that game.
Yes, they did. I don't even remember the score. It was that bad.
Right. I bet they do if you ask them.
Yeah, probably, because they didn't lose a lot. They played a lot of games together, and they did not lose a lot.
Yeah, we got an email last night from their old coach from last year that let us know that after the loss last night, that was their first loss in 3 years, and I think it was 54, 34, something like that, homeschool games that they hadn't lost in a row.
Wow. I mean, you know, it's one thing to win a year, but to have sustained excellence, that just speaks to the character of the young women on the team, the coaching, former coach, and then the Hertas taking over this year.
Yeah, Darren Banks.
Yeah, his name was escaping me. I'm glad you remember. But he and I have had some great conversations over the years, and that just speaks to the excellence of these young women. The last couple years, every time the bracket comes out, you just hope you're not playing them.
Right.
Yeah.
That was the one thing everybody was looking at this year when we did the brackets and we released them. The first thing everybody went and looked at was girls 18U Division I, where's San Marcos, and where are we?
Yeah. Well, and with me coaching the Team USA, I was really relieved to find out they had a
whole separate bracket.
Yeah, separate. They had a bye in the first round, so I didn't have to, because a lot of times Team USA, you play a top seed and lose real bad the first day.
Right. And we're joined by Nick Fairley on the call.
I think
he's been with us all week.
Yeah.
So.
And done a great job. I think I should mention Michaela Curtis. I think she has 8 points, maybe 10 points.
You're biased.
She's got two twos and a three.
Are you biased
and an
or something?
assist. No, I'm not. I probably am. I mean, like I almost. You and I are competing to see who's the president of the Valentine fan club, but I've definitely been a Curtis fan longer.
That's a long list that y'all will have to get on for
Yeah.
Lila Valentine's fan club.
Yeah.
Probably at the top of the list is the coach of the Firebirds. Man, what an addition she was.
I think she was the difference in them between last year and this year. Because
absolutely, yeah.
At that age, to have the composure that she has, to be able to come in and settle the team down when needed and make the right plays. And she was the one they trusted with the ball in her hands late in the game to seal the win at the free throw line. Speaks volume as her and her coaches.
Even after she had a miss, like she sunk those two and then she missed one, you think her nerves going to get to her? Absolutely not.
Didn't get rattled.
Yeah, I just talked to her in the hallway over there. I was asking her, because I didn't remember her from last year. I was asking her if she was even homeschooled last year. She said she was on the 14U team and sat on the varsity bench.
Okay.
And I just gave her a lot of credit for her, and she was super respectful, super thankful. And, yeah, I mean, speaking to her just made me appreciate her game a lot more.
I think I need to get her autograph, actually. Hey, I wanted to mention one moment after that game that I noticed. I think it's Coach Cochran, is that correct, for the Hornets? They lost that game, and man, they mounted a comeback, and so you know the emotions have to be high. I took a picture not 10 seconds after the buzzer went off, and they were huddled up in a circle praying, and you know that just speaks to them as young women, because there's a lot of emotion there. And then right after that, they went and congratulated their opponents.
Yeah, that was probably one of the most exciting comebacks I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
I was over there keeping stats.
Yeah, I think you almost tore your ACL.
Yeah,
you jumped it.
I fell to the ground. I was screaming, high-fiving people and the fans. I just wanted a good game. I don't really care who won, but man, that was an awesome opportunity to be a part of that.
I think there was a lot of people in this arena that wanted overtime because we just wanted to see more of that.
Yes. I was rooting for overtime.
Everyone in the whole stadium was going crazy during that comeback.
Being a broadcaster, you always root for overtime.
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Except
unless it's at
Amy
midnight.
was not. Yeah, she was.
No.
Like, I wanted to be close.
I was fine on the first night, but after that midnight night where we got back to the house where we were staying at like 1 in the morning, the next day I wanted great games that finished in their allotted time.
Right. Like game winner, buzzer beater.
Yeah.
Bang!
I'm going to have to go back and review film, but I think Michaela Curtis might have shot 100% in this game. I don't know. I'm pretty close.
I'm sure there'll be some film review.
No. She and I are done with film review. Man, we've done a lot of that over the years.
Well,
now it's Addison's turn.
I'm sure she'll get a chance to watch this on the way home.
Yeah. My younger daughter watches her film, the 11-year-old.
Yeah.
Breaks it down. Oh, wow. Look at this shooting. Shooting. I mean, there are some talented girls on this court. Oh, she almost made that.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's also really cool to see just the two teams that just competed against HEA and the Hornets, like having fun with each other
and not
an
just
hour after.
And not just competed today. They've competed all year. They were 2-2 coming into this tournament, so they knew it was the rubber match.
Yeah.
You know, HEA ended up winning the rubber match and the winner take all, the biggest game of the year.
Yeah.
And then still here, the coaches coaching together between those two teams, the players playing together.
Yeah. And Chisholm and
Sam Marcus.
Sam Marcus just finished playing a little while ago.
They've battled 3 tournament championships this year. And, Sam Marcus got the better of them in all 3, but yet here we are playing in a game together. So with that, the girls' game has ended. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll be back to have the boys' All-American game. Thank y'all. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Nick Fairley. And Paul Gilmore. We'll be back.
And we're back in Drury University for the boys All-American game. And we did make a modification because it is approximately 11:35 at night. So if you are watching this, God bless you. You must really be a basketball junkie or have a kid in this game. But we're doing a 20-minute half instead of the two 16-minute halves that we had planned. But I have the privilege of being joined by a very special guest, and she just won the Undisputed National Championship. She just played in the All-American game, and she's going to be participating in the dunk contest here in a second, and that is Lily Williams. So, Lily, my first question for you is, again, you haven't had a lot of time to process what just happened, but, I could see the emotion from you whenever that final horn sounded, and so, you just got a chance to celebrate with your girls, but, where are you at right now, and what does that mean for you?
First off, I just want to give all the glory to God. We wouldn't be here without him. He's given me just a ton of ability just to be able to play this game of basketball, and I'm just so thankful for all my teammates. And honestly, I love playing against the Hornets. They're great competitors, and I couldn't have asked for a better game.
It got a little closer than I'm sure you would have wanted at the end. Rodimer was hitting like Caitlin Clark level threes.
Dude, I know. I was about to be like, new Caitlin Clark.
We said that on the broadcast. We had Amy was about to jump out of her seat, and I'm sure it's a little bit more nerve-wracking for you trying to figure out can we pull this out. But man,
sure.
Lila Valentine. 8th grader, like ice in her veins. She's crazy.
Yeah, she's definitely pulled through, especially from regionals. She's definitely proved that she's a player who deserves to be starting 5 on varsity. But yeah.
So we talked about this a little bit off camera, but I'm just curious if you could share, as we approach midnight and beyond, after your dunk contest. You're going to go and celebrate some more with your team. I don't imagine you're going to have an early bedtime tonight.
Probably not.
It could be a late night. So what kind of things are you looking forward to on a celebration?
So on the way here, there's this ice cream place right by our place, and we were all like, oh, we got to stop and get ice cream. But our coach was like, nah, we got to wait till the end to be able to have, our snacks and, bad food,
Yeah.
So we're like, okay. So when we heard the buzzer, we all celebrated when we got there, and we all started chanting, ice cream, we all scream for ice cream. So definitely going to get some ice cream and then hopefully a pizza party.
Wow. Okay, good. Yeah. And then, you have to start hitting the training regimen for next season shortly after that.
I get back, and we have practice this Saturday and Sunday.
Oh,
so
do you really?
I probably won't go to it, but.
Fair. Yeah. Fair. And you guys had a chance to kind of go back behind the scenes and, away from everybody as they were about to do, the three-point contest and all that kind of stuff. So when y'all were back there, just as y'all's team, with your mom, your dad, and, your teammates, we had talked about, just the immense amount of pressure that can come from being in a place that you are. So does getting one like this and having it under your belt, I know you're not going to be satisfied, but does that at least relieve some of that pressure?
Yeah, I think it definitely does. And I'm just glad that we were able to pull it through. And I knew that our team could win it if we tried and we put it in our work. We played good defense. So, yeah, I'm just really happy with the win, and definitely pressure is kind of off now.
Yeah.
Can finally sleep without being stressed out,
Yeah. No, and thinking about this week ahead, we were talking about on the broadcast, we have, obviously, we're not privy to y'all's conversations in the hotels or in the huddles.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at some point you were expecting to kind of rematch with San Marcos.
Mm-hmm,
and then you see them drop on the other side, and now instead it's your familiar foe that you guys split with during the regular season.
Mm-hmm,
you got them at regionals by a close game.
Yeah.
But, that game against West Michigan, you look at how close that was, and, you guys kind of controlled the game until the end. It got a little bit closer. But, heading into next season, what are you kind of looking forward to and expecting? Because a lot of your same team members are coming back.
Yeah. I think that we're a really good team, and, I know that we're going to be facing the West Michigan Hornets a lot, and they're a fun team to play against. I think if we play our game, we play defense, play our offense, stay controlled, move the ball, we'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So what do you again, you've got a couple more years to come back, but from this Nationals, outside of that, banner and trophy, you also won Player of the Year.
Yeah.
So, what does that mean to kind of be able to collect all the hardware all at the same time?
Oh, man. I feel so blessed and so thankful. There's not really any words to be able to describe how I feel. After the game, I was just in tears. This is so unreal. I was just thanking God for everything because, I wouldn't be here without him. So,
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you go ahead and get back to your teammates, get ready for the dunk contest. But thank you so much for joining us, and it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah, you too.
All right, thank you, Lily.
See ya.
Great job, thank you.
Well,
all right, Jeremy, well, we got ourselves a ball game here.
While you were having a conversation with Lily, they were out here having a little mini dunk contest. So, and now we got the guards out here. So we'll have a three-point contest amidst a dunk contest all in the middle of an All-American game.
So just real quickly, because we're doing a 20-minute half instead of the 16-minute halves that we were going to do, want to make sure and at least call out the rosters for these teams. So on the Team East, which is the non-Texas team, it's Texas versus the world. So in the Team East, we have Aaron Gurley from Indianapolis Wildcats, Andrew Thomas from MHEA, Abel Shreve from LKY Saints, Andrew Coffey from Tennessee Heat, Caleb Thomas, MHEA Eagles, Cooper McSpadden, Tennessee Heat, Elias Strasser, Cincinnati Trailblazers, Finn Simsbrock from Indy Northwest Warriors, Jared Devine from Kansas City East Lions, Javante Felton from Mid-South Mustangs, Joey Heaston, Northside Lions, John Omer, LKY Saints, Jonathan Thomas, Bluegrass Blazers, Justin Rebant, HEA Firebirds, Caden Greenlee, Columbus Hawks, Moses Vanderbilt, West Michigan Hornets, Paul Hayes, Mid-Missouri Mavericks, Quan Young, Oklahoma Flame, Robert Dawkins, MHEA Eagles, Ryan Opsimer, HEA Firebirds, Ryan Ray, Rush, Sebastian Genius, MHEA Eagles, and Seth Galloway, Lincoln Eagles. So before I read the Team Texas side, I'll go ahead and catch my breath and let you guys get some words in.
Yeah, it was great seeing a lot of these teams play this week. I know I had a joy calling all their games along with you, Paul, and Scott Staten, and Nick Fairley, C.J. Pomeroy, Amy, and Josh Jenkins. I mean, there's a long list, Jeff Cannon. And, you know, the future is bright in homeschool sports, and we mentioned that during the girls' broadcast, but if you're just now joining us for the boys, you know, here in this All-American game, there's a lot of seniors that are going to move on that we won't see next year, but there's a lot of young ones coming up that's going to take their place. And, you know, through the week this week, there's been a lot of good games, a lot of parity in the D1 level that I believe we've seen. And I believe Nick can contest to this, and as well as you, Paul, that we've had some really great games, and not just great basketball games, is great character guys, you know, because we mentioned on the girls, you got guys that just played against each other in hard-fought battles today, and they're out here just, you know, enjoying playing with each other, you know, laughing, having a good time, and that's hard to find.
Yeah, I've just had so much fun coming here this week, coming off a college season, super busy, a lot of hard work, and just to come here, see these guys compete at the see a lot of guys that can play at the next level has been super awesome, but also just the character of these guys as we see them competing hard on the court, but right after the game they're praying, they're competing hard against each other, but they're friends after, and it's just super cool to see good basketball players. Wow, what a great shot, but also great character. And I've just, every single game seemed to be close that I was calling, and I get really hyped when watching basketball, and this week I was just super hyped. I wasn't even on the call for the last girls game, but I was just taking stats, and I was going absolutely berserk on the side, celebrating with fans. Just the atmosphere here at Drury. I think that's something that these homeschoolers definitely don't take for granted, but what an opportunity. Earlier today we had 12U, 14U players that get to play on a collegiate court. Like, what an opportunity for homeschoolers.
So just want to go ahead and give a shout out to the Team Texas rosters. It's Bo Schott from San Antonio Patriots, Brady Sensano, San Antonio Patriots, Brian Herring, Texas Lions, Carson Hedquist from the Dash Spartans, Corbin Tyler from the Red River Rattlers, Devon Smith from Dash Spartans, Elijah Grimes from Tyler Heat, Ethan Cox, Aggieland Panthers, Isaac Aguilar, PT Warriors, Jackson Tomlin, Tyler Heat, Jacob May, Houston Raiders, John Hervey, Houston Raiders, John Hadnot, Texas Lions, Judah Pickens, Victoria Cobras, Caleb Jackson, Dash Spartans, Nathan Renard, CHSA Wolverines, Preston Moore, Dallas HSAA, Tiernan Harrington, Dallas HSAA, Toby Pike, PT Warriors, and Ty Taylor, CHSA Wolverines.
Great cast of players there.
Wow.
It's been fun to watch a lot of these guys play. We've had some great games, and man, I love coming to nationals every year. I don't have a kid playing anymore. I'm not coaching anymore, but the 8 years that I was coaching my son, this was always usually the best time of the year for us as a team, and like for me and him, and we just enjoyed it. And Rob has allowed me to still be involved, coming back and be part of the broadcast team, and do a little bit of the seeding work on running a couple tournaments. So it's been a joy, and it's always a joy working with you, Paul. Always professional, and wish I had the same radio voice you do, but mine's a little distinctive, and
makes you special.
Yeah, exactly.
Every
and
tournament,
you're underselling that work.
You are the
do
most
a lot
recognized voice in homeschool sports right now.
every tournament I go to, when I start talking to people, they're like, "Hey, you're the broadcast guy from nationals."
Yes.
I'm afraid I am. So for all of those of you that recognize my voice, thank you.
We have 5 kids from Houston and surrounding areas on the court right now. And talking about all the collaboration in homeschool, I want to shout out CHSA Athletic Director Jawan Player, who trains 3 of these All-Americans.
Why is he not doing the dunk contest?
He wasn't able to complete that dunk in the dunk off.
I mean, that's an alternative energy source right there with that windmill.
Yeah. He attempted that a couple times on that late Sunday evening, and unfortunately was not able to complete his side of it. But he is definitely a high-flying dunker, as we'll get to see here in a little while, as the dunk contest is after this.
I think Nick handed off the headset so he can cheer more vigorously. Like he cheers with his whole body over here, whole body. He's pretty excited about these dunks. Said he can still get up there and dunk, so that's why.
That's what he said.
The irony of this is that we had some games this week that went pretty much to midnight here at Drury. And here we are on Friday when it's all said and done, and we're still broadcasting, and it's almost midnight.
Yes, it is.
And look at the crowd that's still here, in front of us, behind us, to the side of us. And the energy is still here in the building. But I don't think we could have ended 2024 Nationals in a better fashion than the girls' game that we had tonight.
No.
I mean, they provided a great finish. Both sides of the gym was involved. You even had half of Memphis that moved up, so West Michigan fans can move in behind their players, and then they just joined in with them and started chanting with them. And then you had the middle seats that had Memphis, and they were kind of neutral. And then you had some Memphis players that were behind HEA, and they were cheering for HEA. So I think they just kind of blended in with the crowd they was in, and it was made for a great atmosphere because it made the crowd that much better. And then behind the broadcast team, we've had a great group of people behind us, and most of the time it's been very respectful to the broadcast booth, knowing that we're live, and we thank everybody for that as well. And most importantly, as well, I think I speak for you as well, Paul, we would all like to thank Rob Flatt for putting on this great tournament year after year. I know it's a lot of time and a lot of investedness from him and his family, because his wife plays a big part and his children help him as well. So big shout out and thank you to Rob Flatt and Zach Stargell, as he works behind the scenes a lot as well. So,
well, and of course we want to give a huge shout out to Darren Wilkins, the man behind the camera, and his son-in-law Taylor. They've done an incredible job, even later nights than we have, and even earlier mornings. So shout out to those guys. Also want to give a weird shout out that not a lot of homeschoolers are going to enjoy, but we have to give a shout out to the federal government. You may not know this, but on Monday morning when we were opening the broadcast at Ozark, they were down for the first couple of games because there was no internet.
Right.
And the federal government actually provided the hotspot that we used over at Ozark.
Oh, wow.
Correct.
So
thanks to the connections that Darren has.
that's your tax dollars at work.
And we appreciate it.
And talking about what a great tournament this is, I've been to a lot of tournaments and a lot of venues. This isn't just the best homeschool tournament in the country. I think it's the best basketball tournament in the country. You can go from watching a 10 and under game in the morning to high-level varsity in the evening and everything in between. The schedule allows you to see all your kids play. It's just amazing. The girls' All-American game was a little more of a game. This is a little more of a attempted and dunk fest here.
I'm not mad at it.
No. They're having fun here.
You know, some of these guys just a little warming up for the pre-dunk.
Yeah. Some of them also have Friday legs after playing games every day.
And
it is almost midnight on Friday.
But it's a nice showcase to see that, you know, some of these guys are moving on as seniors, and a lot of these guys are coming back. So giving us a little tidbit of what we might see next year.
I think this is Corbin Tyler here for the Rattlers, isn't it? Man, he had an amazing game I called the other day. And the long three by the big man.
Off the glass.
Now he needs to follow it up with the dunk so he can get a highlight like Lily Williams, back-to-back three and dunk. Now we're starting to see some shooting here.
Let's see if they let him get his dunk in. Andrew Thomas still playing defense.
He's locked in.
As is happens a lot these days. The big wanted the three, not the dunk. Did we shout out the coaches here? Great coaches
I don't think
on
we
both
did.
sides.
Good call. Yeah, good call.
I mentioned it earlier at the end of the girls' game. There's been some incredible coaching here at Nationals, and I see the Feast coach Insano over there. He's a great coach. I don't know the Tennessee Heat coach I see over there. There's just some phenomenal coaches.
Yeah, the Tennessee Heat coach is Coach Bond. The MHGA coach, Coach Jason Williams, and his assistant, Coach Isaac Guess. And then the head coach for Dash, Coach Nate Turner. And they've all been really good in, you know, producing these kids that we have out here on the floor and done a really good job of building these programs. And as we said in the girls' game, the future is bright for boys homeschool basketball. But a little under 3 minutes left in this Dunk Fest and Caitlin Clark Fest.
Only shots allowed. You got to be at least 5 steps behind the three-point line.
Or you got to be able to dunk.
Yeah, you got to be able to dunk.
Oh, okay.
That was going to be impressive if it went down.
He definitely has some leaping ability.
Sometimes just the attempt is impressive. At least for me, I think my vertical is about 4 inches.
And that right there was good to see, as you have two crosstown rivals between Dash and HSAA throwing alleys to each other and then congratulating each other afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, normally you don't see that at the Big South Regional. You don't see it at districts because of the rivalries. But once you get here to Nationals and you get to the last night, you know, everybody becomes one family, and we're all homeschool family.
Yep, you saw it down here with Aggieland to Houston Raiders to CHSA for the probably highlight of the day.
Right, the three-team trio trifecta dunk.
Yeah, and those are boys who have trained together. I mentioned that earlier. Jawan Player trains a lot of those kids and just does an incredible job getting them ready for their games and ready to do what their coaches need them to do.
Yep, and one more thing I'd like to thank the Sanders brothers for coming down, taking time out of their busy schedules, and to come give their insight a little bit of basketball and what it's like to play at the next level and what they think some of these kids have on calling some of these games. And they do a terrific job of insight and basketball knowledge that they don't mind sharing. And we appreciate that. They're former homeschoolers as well, so you know, giving back to the homeschool community. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, it's hard to believe, but we're going to probably go ahead and wrap it up. I don't know if we're live streaming the dunk contest, but I think on behalf of myself, on behalf of you, Jeremy, on behalf of you, Amy, and everybody else that's been involved, it's hard to believe it's the end of another Nationals, but we're 30 seconds away from the end of this All-American game, and we'll give Darren some time to start packing his stuff up, and we'll go ahead and thank God once again for allowing us to have this opportunity, and we'll go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you guys next year.
It has been a blessing. See you next year.